What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Rayder Critique, where everybody, it has finally come, and this is one of the milestones of this channel. This is actually one of the major things I ever really wanted to do when I turned this channel from a vlogging channel into a show back in 2016. And with this many years later, finally, I get to sit down and speak with the guy who motivated me into basically doing the show that you guys see today. Everybody, man, this guy means so much to Rayder Nation YouTube. So much to Rayder Nation YouTube. He was the first Rayder YouTuber to ever reach and eclipse 50,000 subscribers. He was the first one really to ever do skits. I mean, he was one of the first Rayder Nation YouTubers I ever started watching. And without his show during those times, in the times where how we were back in 2013, 2014, 2015, I don't know how much I would have ever enjoyed watching our football team because we were so terrible at that point in time. Ladies and gentlemen, Rayder Nation, I would love to introduce to you my guest for the evening, a guest that has been very elusive, I might say, but I finally got to sit down and talk with him and actually get to sit down and pick his brain. And I'm actually going to be able to present it to all of you, everybody who's here, and everybody who's going to be watching later on when it's not live. He needs no introduction, Rayder Nation, but I am going to give him one because that's what he deserves. Because without Mikey Rayder, there wouldn't be a Rayder Nation YouTube.
I bleed silver with black, and I wear it with pride. Hold my shield to the sky. I'm a Rayder for life. 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 Touchdown! Raiders!
So what's going on?
I'm impressed, brother. I saw your intro. That was the first time I saw it, and it gave me chills. And I love your tagline: "Don't drink the corporate Kool-Aid." I freaking loved it.
Man, thank you so much for coming on here, man. I've wanted to do this for a very long time. I'm sure that, like, even when I was cutting up in your chats, because that's literally how we met. How I met most of Rayder Nation on YouTube was inside of Mikey Rayder's chat, inside of On Air Nation chat, inside of Rayder's Central chat.
Yeah, that was 3 different channels ago. Like, I've been through like 3 different channels, but don't tell YouTube that because I'm not supposed to have one.
Speaking of that, man, you started back in 2000 and I think you were out there before me. I remember starting roughly around 2009, 2010.
That's exactly well, I mean, I had an acting type channel when YouTube got all the hype, like in 2008 and 9. I think they first started like around 2006 or 7, but around 2008 or 9 is when the hype machine for YouTube started with, those popular videos like Chocolate Rain or, the Star Wars kid, the fat guy with the swords or whatever. So I created like a career or like a Michael Bauer channel. And then as I learned YouTube, I was like, I wanted to create a Rayder channel. And it was around 2010. And then I hate giving all the information out, but I created a channel called Rayder Central. No, Raiders Update. And that channel got like banned within like 5 months. Like because of, content, whatever I was putting on there, because you're not supposed to. And then officially I started Rayder Central. After learning a little bit about what happened on the Raiders Update channel with content and censors and whatever, I had a better idea, so I created Rayder Central. And then, let me be honest, to give anybody advice, if you want to start a channel, and I know this is not going to sound right, but if you want to start a channel, no matter what it's about, in order to get viewers, you have to use illegal content sometimes, especially early, to get the clickbaits and all that other stuff, unless you're a full-fledged studio at that moment. You got to use the things to bring in the fans. So I used a lot of, ESPN clips or this clips or that clips to bring in the fans and go, oh, it's a Raider channel. I haven't seen a Raider channel. Then I presented my show, the weekly show called the Raider Central Update, where then now I started to have fans, and then that channel, after many years, legally, the NFL came after me. Then I had to get another channel, and I called it On Air Nation. And that one, they came after me again. And then I had to rebrand, and I was just like, screw it. It's like my fourth channel. I'm going back to Raider Central, but I'm going to add the word live to it, and I'm going to try to go live. Because going live is the only way that YouTube really wants to promote any videos nowadays, is by going live. So that's my
you were there.
You were there
throughout you were there throughout, just like me. You were there throughout the whole transition.
Yeah, 2010 is basically that Raider channel got started, and then I lost it in 2017. That big one, the Raider Central, that got about 51,000 subscribers, and I was more popular than the official Raiders YouTube at that time. That's why they came after me as well, because I was competition for them.
Mikey, what was it like being able to walk into a game in O.co and having, how many people would recognize you at the game?
I never went to a game.
You wouldn't go to the games?
Well,
go hang out at the tailgates?
I'm from LA, so I was able to go to a Charger game, but early in the days it was only the San Diego Chargers. So I would drive down to the San Diego games versus the Raiders. That's where I saw the Raider Nation. Then there was, LA events where they had a party or this or that, and I went to those. But I never was able to get to an Oakland game within that time frame of me being popular on a channel.
So with being that popular, would people notice you in the grocery store?
I mean, sometimes for acting, not really for Mikey Rayder. But when I did go to a San Diego game, yes, they'd be like, oh my God, that's Mikey Rayder. It's Mikey Rayder, like the fans from YouTube. And then I'd get pictures taken. But then there's also a lot of haters.
Right.
And then people like, let me get in your video. Let me get in your video. And then if I edited the video and they weren't in it, I literally get like strong worded emails. Oh, how dare you? I respected you. You didn't put me in your video. I'm like, well, the video footage was blurry and it didn't work. It just didn't work.
Right, man. So I'm pretty sure you've dealt with all kinds of things, especially, being a childhood actor as well. You were, I didn't even really want to get into that. There is plenty of footage out there of Mikey Rayder as Donkey Lips, though. And also he has a wonderful podcast with another individual who actually goes over all of his career when he was, pretty much a good rundown. I can't remember what the name of that podcast was, but I listened to it a good month ago. It was a podcast that you did with somebody.
Yeah, I've done a couple recently.
They were talking about the Salute Your Shorts. And that in its own is miraculous. But, you were the first Raider Nation YouTuber to ever to hit.
Not really the first.
50,000 K.
Well, again, because I was using a lot of, clips that you couldn't find anywhere. You would have to search like 20 or 30 different websites to get some information about the Raiders. And I was able to cut them up and edit them and put them all in one video, like every couple days. So you would be able to tune into my channel and then watch a video called Raider Clips. And then you would get that week's or those 3 or 4 days, all the footage or coverage from every channel or whatever. But again, later in the years, YouTube came out with more copyrights. But I was able to do that. So it brought in a lot of the fans. They're like, I don't want to go to 20 different websites. Let me just go to Raider Central. I'll get all those clips in one 20, 30-minute video. Let's go.
And that's how I got addicted. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I could just go straight to you and get everything that I needed, and I didn't have to hop over to ESPN. I didn't have to go over to ABC Sports. I didn't have to go over to Fox, Fox Sports. I could just come straight to Raider Central, and I could go ahead and get the business right there, right there in a 30-minute video.
Yep.
And I've been doing it wrong all these years. I was in my early days, I was posting up footage. I was basically just I was using a program called First Row Sports, a website where I was able to stream the games and get the games. And I was just, screen recording and then posting them up to YouTube. And, those videos did not start getting banned or taken down until about 4 years ago, Mikey. And that's what I don't understand is because I've had them up. I mean, I've been on YouTube since 09. I've had them up since the game was played, like maybe a couple days after the game was played, and they never flagged me. You know what I mean? They never flagged me until about 4 years ago. They finally started getting those videos. So how they got you and how quick it was, man. I mean, this one of the major points I wanted to point out. Mikey Rayder is still a Raider fan even after being sued by the Raiders.
You were reading my mind right now. Right now, I was just thinking about like the lawsuit, and then you just brought it up. It's so funny, like 2 seconds before it. But I've been thinking about releasing a video and showing the lawsuit and showing all the things that the NFL and the Raiders organization was suing me for. And they had these little things that I had to agree to like not be sued for $500,000. Literally, it was scary. I started crying. I think I made videos crying. I was scared. Because like they're suing you for like $500,000. You're losing the channel that was making me any income at the moment. I was kind of living off that income, and they're suing you, and you don't know what to do. But like I've been thinking about making that video and showing the ridiculousness of what they were telling me I can and cannot do for the rest of my life on YouTube or in public. They were saying I cannot wear a Raider jersey in public because it's copyrighted and trademarked by them. I cannot, if I'm seen or whatever, they can sue me for wearing a Raider jersey, wearing any logos. I cannot wear the color scheme on a video that I make money from of color. I cannot wear the color silver or black in combination. Like it was that intense. They were saying I cannot say the slogan, "Just win, baby." It's a trademark slogan, and they could sue me again in the future if I say it in a video. I cannot say the Raiders. I cannot say the word Raider Nation. Like it was so, but that's what they do. They do that to scare you, even though it's not legal. If I had any money to really hire lawyers, I would have won a lot of those cases. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the lawyers scare you. So they write all that stuff in there, and then it had the NFL lawyers behind them. It had the Raiders lawyers behind them. And long story short, like it was scary. I didn't even know how to come back on YouTube. I didn't know what I could do. And I started to make a little bit of money around that time on YouTube. I hit 1 month, not every month, but I hit 1 month where I made $6,000 on my channel. And that was from like my show, the Raider clips, and everything else I was presenting. I also had my own show. It all wasn't illegal. I created my own show and skits. But yes, within it, I tried to use highlights or little clips like that, within my show. So I thought it was fair use. To my credit, I thought it was fair use, or they call it transparent, whatever, fair use, whatever. But again, I lost my channel. But man, like I said, I thought I was on top of the world, man. But they took it all away, man. And that was in like 2016 or 17. And then that same year, I lost my father. So I lost my channels. I lost my father. Then again, just my health. It's been a rough road, brother. It's been a real hard time to be a Raider fan. It's been really, really hard for me to be a Raider fan.
Yeah, and it's cool. I'd like to piggyback off of that. You were the first Raider Nation Raider YouTuber to start doing skits. I really remember your McGloinberger
Yeah,
skit that you were doing there.
I
And
posted them all. I think just recently for my members, and then I think I just put them to the public like maybe a week ago. I just let every video go to the public. I was like, whatever, let people watch some of the old skits. I still have all those. I think a lot of those episodes, the full length, hour-long episodes. I still think I got most of them, but I can't put them online because copyright.
because of copyright. So
Yeah.
you still have a lot of your old videos that like backups, just like pretty much.
I think I have everything. I think I have most of it.
That's awesome, dude. Because I've lost so many of the videos that I would make. I mean, I'm in between the
Our
two different
roundtables.
computers I've used.
I think I have our roundtables, the ones that you were a part of as well.
Hey, and that also brings up another point that I was going to talk about. You were also the first to hold Raider Nation roundtables. Am I correct on that one as well?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to claim. I don't want to claim to be the innovator of anything because everything's been done before by somebody. We just might not know them, but everything's been done before. Let's just be honest. But yeah,
I know when we came out, there was maybe 6 of us, including Raider John, you, myself, the night of the round table.
yeah, Jason
right?
Smith,
Yeah, Jason Smith.
the Oakland.
I mean, the Oakland Knight. Man, there wasn't very many,
Yeah.
and
that's why I started because there was like a podcast on like one of the podcast websites. I think it was Raider Nation Podcast.
Byron. I forgot about Byron Live.
Yeah,
95.
not Byron, but yeah.
Yeah, Byron's great, man.
But there was a podcast and a YouTube channel of these guys. I think they were called the Raider Nation Podcast, and they got me interested in making videos. But they had videos before me. Then right around maybe a month or 2 weeks later, we had these 2 guys. They called themselves I forgot, it was these two guys. They called themselves, they're like 2 best friends. And then there was also a Latin guy that made a YouTube channel called the Raider Nation something. And then they did skits as well, where they'd have girls and Charger fans. It all started around 2010. I mean, I can't say who was first, but we're definitely in that top tier of the first 5, all of us.
Right. I mean, your skits were amazing and they were funny. Not only were we going
I had money in my bank account. I had a house. I had a green screen. I had a lot of time on my hands. I stay up all night. I sleep all day. So I had all night to make these videos. But nowadays, I don't have any of that in my life anymore. And I just don't have the passion. I would continue doing it, but I've lost a lot of the passion. And, for that, I apologize.
I kind of understand about the passion thing, man. I was a musician for a very long time. I've been retired since, I don't know, at least 10 or 12 years from really playing live or doing anything like that. That was kind of my motivation to really start getting on here and taking it seriously because, as being a performer myself, I needed to fill the void somewhere.
Are you into that death metal stuff or whatever?
Yeah. Hardcore, man. I'm a hardcore kid, pretty much. Well, now I'm a hardcore old guy.
I liked your music in the beginning. Is that from you?
Yeah, I wrote that.
That was cool.
I'm guitar, drums, bass. I did all the instruments, and then of course I don't play guitar all that well, so I had to go get one of my guitarists who plays leads to drop the lead over the top of it. But yeah, that was made specifically for this channel, and yeah,
that's good. It hyped me up. I liked it.
It definitely expresses my personality because I definitely am. Yeah, I like some groove metal. I like some hardcore, and that's what I play. But I can play pretty much anything.
Oh, well, congratulations. Since I'm a comedian, I'm going to give you a death metal story that I have, and let's see if you like it or you laugh at it. So I had a friend who recognized me at a convention one time, and he's like, oh, I run a nightclub in Hollywood called the Roxy. And he goes, I know
all about the Roxy.
He's like, I heard you rap. I I heard your songs because I fool around with music every once in a while, and I called myself the first emotional rapper, the first emo rapper ever made, where I would rap about my problems because I have a depressive lifestyle, or a mentality that's more depressive than normal. But he's like, yeah, I heard your rap music, and I run the Roxy. Can I promote you, and you can come and perform your songs, like as an act at the Roxy? And I was like, well, it is the Roxy. It's very famous.
Yeah.
And I go, but I'm not really a performer like that. I don't even have like a track or an instrumental that I could bring. That I don't know how to do it. I was like, but he's like, well, just come down and check it out. So I go, all right, I'll come down and check out the Roxy one night, as a celebrity. He'll get me free entrance or whatever. So I go down one night and he's like, yeah, come to the front door. And then I was like, what bands are here tonight? He goes, oh, we got death metal tonight. I was like, death. I was like, what's death metal? He goes, oh, don't worry. It's fun, man. It's like hardcore rock. It's like alternative, but harder. It's like what did he say? It's like System of a Down, or what was the other group?
Man, he was lying to you.
Yeah, and then,
he was totally lying to you.
He's like, what's the name of the band that I used to love? Oh yeah, Rage Against the Machine. He's like, it's like a more hardcore Rage Against the Machine. I'm like, all right, cool. So then he goes, yeah, go inside and check it out. So I walk in, and then I start listening. Then I kid you not, like 3 minutes later, I walk out, and he's like, what? You just walked in. What happened, Mikey? Oh, you okay? You good?
Yeah, it's good.
Just in case it's an emergency.
Nope, it's all right. Wife's got it.
Gotcha.
Don't worry, keep going.
So I watched it, and then like 3, 4, 5 minutes later, I walk out. He's like, what's going on? Why are you leaving? I go, I'm tired of getting yelled at.
Yeah.
He goes, what? He goes, huh? I go, I walked in there. The guy's on stage. Hey, what you doing?
Yeah, that's death metal. That's
death metal. It's a joke. I'm tired of getting yelled at. I didn't come here to get yelled at. I came here to listen to some music and dance. I don't want to get yelled at. You don't know the power of the Christ. Christ is People pay for this.
And they do. But like, yeah, that's death metal for you, man.
Hey, did you know Rage
Against different genre, but yeah, it's kind of around the same thing. But you got to get some singing moments in there too. With death metal, I'm more of a music snob. I don't really much care for the blast beats. Have a couple friends who are in a death metal band. That's great for them. You know what I mean? But I got to have something with some groove. I really don't want anybody, I like to be able to understand if they are screaming at me. I do want to be able to understand what they're saying.
Yeah, I like System of a Down and Rage Against the Machine.
You understand them.
Yeah.
And they might be screaming or at least yelling.
Self-righteous suicide. Why? How many want to kill the poor?
Yeah, you understand them. I'm not down in anybody's music out there, by the way. Now, as long as you play to a metronome, you're fine with me. But
did you know Ray? Okay, I love your slogan. It's "Don't drink the corporate Kool-Aid," right?
Right.
Rage Against the Machine is no longer raging against the machine.
No,
they are for the machine. They made a vaccine commercial, and they made an album promoting vaccines as well in one of their songs.
You got to be shitting me, really?
Nope. So they are now Rage for the Machine. That freaks me out, man.
Is that Zach De La Rocha too?
The entire band, whatever the band is nowadays. If he's not a member of the band anymore, I can't say that he did it. But the band, literally around 2020, they had actors and all these people making commercials to sell people, to get the jab. And Rage Against the Machine made a song, and they made like a infomercial. Literally. I'm like, what?
That hurts.
Exactly. These are the people. F you, I won't do what you tell me. F you, I won't do what you tell me. But now they're like, hey, we're telling you to do this.
Yeah, go get a vaccine.
Just
Go get a vaccine. I'm not going to comment on the vaccine. I didn't get the vaccine. I'll never get
yeah,
the vaccine. It was
YouTube
unproven.
will shut you off.
Yep.
Yeah, stop talking about it.
It was,
YouTube will shut you off.
but it is what it is. I'm not going to deal with that crap. To each their own. I can tell you this though, I'm definitely not drinking the corporate Kool-Aid on what's going on this year. I don't like that we got rid of Derek Carr. I know you don't either. And I don't want to keep beating on a dead cat.
I saw your video. I mean, I think a video. I was watching every Raider videos makers around that Carr time. I wanted to see everybody's opinion. And let's just be honest with you. Everybody drank the corporate Kool-Aid when that was happening.
Yep.
And I'm saying you did as well, Nathan.
I know.
So did I.
did.
Because the haters of Carr, they came out so much and they accused us. It's like people against MAGA. They made the word Carr bad. So we automatically had to be happy that they let go of Carr. We automatically had to see the point and we had to agree with Josh McDaniels. And then even now, even the Wi-Fi Willie video that he made about Jimmy Garoppolo, he mentioned the word Carr. But in the video, he says, I know you guys don't want me to say that word, and I'm not supposed to say the word Carr anymore. You get it? They won. They won. We can't even say the word Carr without getting feedback, turmoil, or people hating our opinion. It's a scary thing. It's a scary thing.
I wonder what they're going to be sounding like now after the news that we got. What was it? Earlier couple days ago?
It was today. Or it was today. It was earlier today from Mike Florio. I made a poll on my Twitter. I should call it Twitter because you get yelled at everywhere. But it only had like 4 votes, and one of my comments on Twitter was, "Are you with the Jimmy Garoppolo news that just happened?
Right.
What are your thoughts?" And one of the things was, "I'm happy to be a Patriot," and it had 50% of the votes.
You got to be
that means they still don't care. Let's be honest.
Still don't care.
The narrative is Carr. Honestly, 70% are happy Carr's gone. For whatever reason, Carr became the villain. Carr became the villain. And it should have been Josh McDaniels. It should have been Mark Davis. And it should have been everybody else. But Carr became the villain.
Right. But I think it's all starting to reap its ugly, its ugly head now.
No, it's not. They're Brian Hoyer.
Hurt.
Yeah, they're like Brian Hoyer for life. Brian Hoyer for life. Aiden O'Connell for life. No. We got a real number 4 now, Aiden O'Connell.
and while everybody's sitting here talking about that, we've got Gruden going over to the Saints helping out Derek Carr. You know what I mean? And we're supposed to be relying on a Jimmy Garoppolo, who, by the way, even as a starter, has never stayed healthy. Ever since he left New England, he has never stayed healthy. So what made half of us even think that Jimmy Garoppolo was even going to be some type of answer that past 7 weeks of the season? The dude is starting off on injured reserve right now, and he just went through foot surgery in March. And nobody wanted to say anything. They just hushed it up underneath the rug.
All the Raider reporters. What about all the Raider reporters?
Right. Vic Tafer, who I thought was supposed to be quite legitimate. He wasn't saying anything about it. And then you got Vinny Bonsignor. He didn't say anything about it. And I mean, I don't want to sit there and rag too much on Vinny, but Vinny's right there.
Vinny was asked a question, I don't know, maybe a month, like 2 weeks after the press conference incident where Jimmy Garoppolo waited a day and a half to sign. And rumors were that, they were changing the contract. Some rumors were that he failed a physical. And then the media was like, no, it's just a slight little contract issue. That's what they were saying from the actual Raider reporters. They were not agreeing that it was a failed physical. So the Raider reporters in the actual office don't even know what's going on. Then on top of that, they were Vincent Bonsignor was asked a question by a fan. So what's the deal? Did they add in did they renegotiate the contract or whatever? And then Vincent Bonsignore's response was, no, the contract has stayed the same since he signed. And Wi-Fi Willie showed that in his video, and he's like, no, that's bullshit. But it's not. The truth is, his contract never changed. If you listen to the words that Vincent Bonsignore wrote to that fan that said, was the contract changed? Vincent Bonsignore said, now this is called lawyer speak. He said the contract that he signed was never changed. It was changed before he signed it. You get it? It was changed before he signed it. So yes, truthfully, the contract for Garoppolo has never changed since the day he signed it.
It's signed. Yeah, it changed right before.
Correct. That's what. So the fan asked, oh, we found out the contract changed, so you're lying. Vincent Bonsignore is not lying. He's using that. It's called double speak.
Yep. He double spoke it.
No, like, it might not be called double speak, but it's like the words. The contract has not changed since he signed it. He was about to sign it. They had problems. They changed it. Then he signed it. So yes, after they signed it and they renegotiated, nothing has changed ever since.
Now, look, I might be Captain Negative on this, but I was quite disappointed with our third round pick. And the Trey, I believe it's Trey Tucker, right? The wide receiver, the special gadget wide receiver that we picked up in the third round. I mean, we can't change the fact that Carr's not here anymore. We have Jimmy Garoppolo, who obviously I don't foresee him staying healthy. We go and reach for Aiden O'Connell in the fourth when we literally could have had Hendon Hooker in the third, and we picked up a gadget wide receiver with a roster who already had 13 wide receivers signed to its roster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, that doesn't sound like that this coach has any idea what the hell he's doing. And I'm starting to get massive flashbacks from his stints in Denver when he was the head coach over there.
I mean, I know none of the McDaniel stands and I hate to say the word Raider stands, they're just always positive. I mean, I love those people. I don't know how they're always positive. Hey, it's all good, Mikey. It's all good. Maybe Aiden O'Connell will be a beast. Don't worry about the Jimmy G situation. It'll play itself out. We're all good. We're the Raiders. I love the Raiders. Look, I love those people. But who the fuck are you? Grow up. The world is not what it seems. The world there's a lot of hidden secrets. There's a lot of hidden lies. And once I became awakened to the realities of the world, that's when I changed. In the early days of the Raiders, I was 100% positive. But after I started making videos for 10 years, I can't help but see the patterns. I can't, a new coaching regime, a new general manager. It just keeps continuing. And people are saying, oh, well, now we're changing. We're bringing in the Patriot way. Well,
we've tried every other way. And that's what sucks is to be honest, man, as much as I disagree with a lot of Mark Davis's decision, I feel like his back has been put against a wall here, especially over the Gruden shit. It's ridiculous.
Mark Davis is gone. He's gone, bro. The Raiders will not be under the Davis name in 10 years. I don't know who's going to own the Raiders officially. I don't know if it's going to be some corporation, but the legacy of a Davis owning the Raiders is done because Mark has no children. Is he ever going to have a kid to take over the team or whatever's left after Carroll Davis dies? Again, so Carroll Davis is possibly going to pass away very soon. That's why he's selling portions of the team because he can't afford the estate tax. He's starting to sell off the team little by little. So you start with somebody like Tom Brady, hopefully to excite the fan base. But Tom Brady works for Fox. He's getting paid $375 million for a 10-year deal. Okay. And he was allowed to buy a part of the Raiders. Fox had to give him the approval. Plus, do you think some of that Fox money was handed to Tom Brady with that approval to buy a portion of the Raiders through Tom Brady? Tom Brady is owned by Fox soon. I guarantee you Fox gave Brady some money or is backing Tom Brady to buy a portion of the Raiders. So Fox is buying the Raiders as well through Tom Brady. That's my opinion. But if you look into the clues, how much is he selling to Tom Brady? We don't know. It's got to be somewhere in the $100 million to $400 million range because he needs that much amount of money for the estate tax. He needs at least $600 million for the estate tax. How much of the Raiders is he selling? And how much is Fox actually involved if they're giving Tom Brady $400 million? Maybe they add another couple $100 million to buy a part of the Raiders through Tom Brady. But again, it's still got to be approved. They have to vote on it in the coming a couple months. But Fox is buying the Raiders. And there is no children for Mark Davis to give the team to. So he's going to have to sell more in the future.
And see, that's what I'm afraid of. I think that he's going to have to sell, and I think they're setting him up for it. I mean, he already owes so much money on that stadium himself. And, of course, Vegas is supposedly taking care of the other half. But the NFL was the one who fit the bill because Mark Davis didn't have any money to fit a $500 million price tag on the Las Vegas stadium.
Well,
goes and gets Gruden for $40 million for 10 years. Or, yeah, $400 million?
No, I was sorry. I was thinking about the stadium. My apologies. Okay. But I was saying Mark Davis and Oakland put in $400 million for the stadium. The NFL backed it and doubled it to $800 million. But then the rest of it, the 1.6 or whatever it was, the 900 or whatever was funded by the taxpayers in Vegas. So let's be honest. Mark Davis didn't put in that much. He only put in $400 million.
So there you go.
I mean, taxpayers paid for it basically more than even the NFL.
This is why he has not cared on who he has sold the damn tickets to put their asses in the seats.
But
because he's trying to recoup all that damn money.
Why'd he go out and buy the Aces?
Right. I mean, obviously he knows he's going to get ousted soon, so he wants something else to fall back on to keep himself a part of Vegas. That's my only idea. He's
making really bad money decisions, just like a rookie NFL player. He's an owner. He's making really bad decisions. Again, he didn't have a lot of money. He went to Vegas. Then they were flushed with cash because of the taxpayers. The stadium was already built. They still taxed the players. I mean, the town. They still tax them to this day for that stadium. So some of that money, the NFL money came in. All of a sudden, Mark Davis is like, I'm in Vegas now. The stadium's already built. I'm going to buy a house. So he bought that big house. Then he's like, I got some extra money. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to buy the WNBA Aces. All right. Now the Raiders are losing. Now the money's drying up because the first 3 to 5 years in a new stadium is when all that money's there. But after 4 years or whatever, now the Raiders are losing. He has to pay Gruden, all these other people. He's losing money. We're selling out games to the other fans. So he's losing money. Now he's like, oh, my mom's going to die. And I'm going to have to pay $600 million when she dies for the estate tax. Or I don't even understand what it is, but he's got to pay $620 million for the estate tax based off of what the Raiders are valued at. And the Raiders are valued at $5.2 billion right now. But it's going up like $400 million every year, even without a winning product. Because when the Raiders moved to Vegas, they were valued at 4.1. Now they're at 5.2. So now with Tom Brady buying and all that, and him selling shares, now the Raiders, again, if we can produce a winning team it doesn't matter. We're still going to be valued at 6 billion, 7 billion. So then if Carroll Davis dies within the next couple years and the team's valued at 7 billion, then he's not only going to owe 600 million, he's now going to owe 700 million or 800 million because the value of the team went higher and he has all that stock. But now he's selling off the stock. So when his mom does die, instead of him having 55%, he'll have 30%. So then the state tax that he'll owe will be 200 million, 300 million. You get it? He's devaluing the team. He's purposely devaluing the team to get away from that. That's why I believe he's hiring McDaniels and doing all these tanking and all that, because he needs to devalue the team, but he needs to keep the fans happy. Let's bring in Patriots. Let's do this. Let's get rid of Carr. He costs too much money. If I help them approve them getting rid of Carr, I'll save $20 million a year. But let's keep the fans happy. Let's bring in Tom Brady to buy part of the team because he's a winner. Again, it's all an illusion. Again, I talk too much. But, yeah, something's going on, bro. Something is happening. And we're not being told the truth.
Something happening too, man. To me, I feel like that they have been, for many years, trying to get rid of anything Al Davis related or Davis family related ever since he sued the NFL and won. And then he paraded around here exactly being the only guy to ever sue the NFL and win, which he's about to be, he's about to have some company there with John Gruden, who also happened to be a part of the organization who is rightfully suing the NFL. You know what I mean?
Remember what Derek Carr said against the NFL? Maybe that's one reason why Derek Carr was ousted by Josh McDaniels. Do you remember what he said regarding Gruden about a year ago?
He said a lot of things. What did he say, Mikey? Refresh my memory.
Well, when that Gruden debacle email scandal was all happening, toward the end of the season, after Gruden was fired, they said, they kept asking Derek Carr questions about John Gruden. And he goes, look, I love the guy. We're all good, whatever. But long story short, he said, if that's what they found in his emails, maybe every owner in the NFL, maybe every coach and every commissioner, I'm paraphrasing, but he said it, maybe every owner or GM or coach, maybe their emails should be opened up and we could see what they had to say about, the world at large. That didn't go over well. Carr was taken off the podium that next week because he called out the NFL. You get it? He said, let's look at Roger Goodell's emails from 2015 or 14. Let's look at, Jerry Jones's emails, and John Gruden wasn't even a Raiders coach when all this stuff happened.
Or even affiliated with the NFL. He was affiliated with ESPN, who happens to be affiliated with the NFL. But his direct contact with a desk job at ESPN.
It's a hit job.
It was a hit job, and they used him as the scapegoat to try to cover up everything that was going on with Dan Snyder and the Washington football team, because, of course, that was tarnishing what the NFL Shield looked like with their misogynistic treatment of the cheerleaders and all the pretty much just the sexist things that were going on over there.
Raiders had that controversy too, though. We had that
controversy too, but lo and behold, where did those emails come from? Because Jay Gruden was a coach and with the Washington football team, Washington Redskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call them.
They came from the general manager. He used to be the emails were taken from the manager. Yeah, that was a Raider general manager years prior with Gruden, because they still kept in contact. Even though John was at ESPN, he would write the general manager of the Washington Redskins. He would write emails back and forth because they were friends from the Raider days.
Right.
That's where the emails came from. Because they did an investigation into the Washington, and then they opened up all their hard drives and their emails.
Yeah, and so I mean, I have this funny feeling. Here's my conspiracy, Mikey. I have this funny feeling that because arbitration is not going to happen now. The court system has ruled that the NFL will not be able to arbitrate this case, that they will oversee everything, which means all 630,000 of those emails are going to potentially be looked at, and we are going to finally get what all of us wanted, because I knew what I wanted. I wanted all of those emails dropped.
Yeah, they want them to be public. They want them to be publicly released. The NFL fought the lawsuit, and they said we don't want to allow. We want to do it in an NFL court. We don't want to do it in a public court because all the information will be public. They were denied that ability, but the NFL is now doing it again. So nothing has been settled yet. They're appealing it.
They're appealing the decision as of right now. Yeah, that's the next thing that they're trying to do is appeal it. I believe that they are going through the appeal process. Really all depends on what happens on that, but I do have a feeling that if it doesn't get appealed, we're going to see probably a good, and I'm just going to spout off a number off the top of my head here, 15 to 20 owners removed if all 630,000 of those emails get dropped.
They're not going to remove owners. Like George Carlin said, one of the greatest real world culture comedians said, they got a big dang club and you ain't in it.
Yeah, you're right about that. But you don't think that a lot of these guys are going to get Dan Schneidered and pretty much be forced to sell their teams if they come up with, anything worse than what John Gruden has said?
Man, it's like Jeffrey Epstein. They got videotapes on every owner doing something bad. They got emails on every coach or owner. Again, the NFL is also a security platform. They secure from within. They got retainers. They got information on players, on coaches, and they hold it against these people. That's why John Gruden did not settle out of court. He possibly could have settled out of court. They could have given him $50 million. Hey, John, let's stop the lawsuit. John's like, F it. I've been in the league so many years. This was a hit job. You guys are coming after me, and I'm gonna take it the entire way. And he's using the $100 million that him and Mark Davis agreed to, or whatever they officially ended it at. Again, I think he took a lower amount, because he still had years left, but I think they settled it like 50 or 60 million instead of the 100 million that he was going to get, but let's just be honest. Let's look at it from a conspiracy standpoint of the Raiders. I don't want to bring this up, but during the COVID time, the Raiders were the first stadium to force vaccines to watch the game. They had a press conference. Mark Davis went in a press conference and told everybody, they had their health people, hey, you can get vaccinated at the game, but we require you to sign up to this site and show proof of vaccination to watch the Raiders. No other stadium was doing it, maybe one other one, but they did it after the Raiders did it, but not every stadium was doing it, even outdoor stadiums. Why did Mark Davis make that decision? Because he was being forced to by the NFL. He was being forced by the powers that be to go along with the narrative. And they were hoping all the other stadiums would, hey, if the Raiders did it, then we got to do it too. You get it? And then that's where it all started. Mark Davis he has handlers. Mark Davis has handlers. I don't think he owns the Raiders really anymore. That's why he went out and bought the WNBA Aces, because it's all disappearing and he's gone. So he's trying to buy whatever he can in Vegas to stay a part of it. But now they're forcing his hand. They forced him to fire Gruden. And all the debacle started with the emails. The NFL, we've known for many years, they want to buy or take over the Raiders or screw the Davis name. We know that for a fact. If you're a real Raider fan and you know the history, it's always the Raiders versus the NFL. Now the NFL started with the Gruden emails where they leaked them. We had to fire our coach. We had to ask them for money to get a stadium in Vegas. We had to ask them for help. Jerry Jones. Now We got Patriots as our coaches, as our general manager, and now we're still getting screwed. Players, it all started with John Gruden. We were on a winning trajectory. 3
Yep.
years after Gruden came, we were finally on a winning trajectory, and they went out and snuffed it. We won 4 games before he was fired, or 3 games before he was fired.
We're 3-2.
Early in the season, and we were on a winning trajectory. Then, of course, after he's fired, controversy, we lost a few games, but we won the final 4 or 5 to make the playoffs with Rich Bisaccia. But it all started with Gruden. That's shit.
Hey, so that brings up another question that I have, man. Do you think that the team was playing for Rich Bisaccia himself because of how good of a person he was, or do you think that they were really playing like as hard as they were for revenge for having their coach ripped away, having their number 1 wide receiver in Henry Ruggs go through the situation that he wound up going through and being ultimately removed from the team? I mean, I think it was probably a combination of everything. You know what I mean? But to me, I felt like that they were probably playing more for Gruden, man, because I know Gruden got literally singled out in this whole situation, all because the NFL hates the Raiders and they'll do whatever it takes to knock us off our pedestal when we're on the way up.
I mean, there's many reasons why they won, but let's just break it down. They were a good team. I don't like Gruden as a coach. I never have. I'm still that type of person. I'm a Gruden hater. But in real life, like, they did him dirty. They did him dirty. But let's get right to the point. Why did they win? Because they were a good football team. He was building a winner like he started in 1999 with the Raiders. It took him 2 or 3 years. Then he had a solid quarterback. They were on the same game plan. He had solid receivers, decent enough defense. They were the number 1 offense. We went to the, almost went to the Super Bowl, but then injury to Gannon happened, blah, blah, blah. But we were a winning team. And the reason why they won was because if there's a tragedy in life and you're good people, you're gonna come together. If you're good people, if you are good chemistry, if you are a good foundation full of love and family and respect for each other, when turmoil happens, people rise up. And they rose up. They rose up. And Rich Bisaccia was a leader of men. Doesn't mean he was the best coach. Doesn't mean he was the best this or that or whatever. But Rich Bisaccia had turmoil his entire life. He's losing his hearing. He was going deaf. But he's a leader among men, and he values family, respect, transparency, and love. He valued transparency. Every press conference he had, he's like, hey, man, this is the case. I'm proud to be with these boys. Derek Carr, I love him. I love Gruden. I love Henry Ruggs. If nobody's going to show Henry Ruggs love, I'm going to show him love. They bonded together and they were transparent. And what happens is that after a couple of weeks, you're like, all right, let's do this. We're winning. I believe in Rich Bisaccia. And they got it done. I know they faltered in the Bengals game. I get that. The Bengals were a better team at that point. But the Raiders were playing playoff games 5 weeks earlier because of all the turmoil. Every week was a playoff game for the Raiders. And we were shorthanded in a lot of situations. So that was a great year. And that's who the Raiders should have been going into the next year. Mark Davis should have said, you know what? I see you. You're building some sort of a Raider legacy here. Rich Bisaccia, I'm going to give you another year. Another year.
Should have, because what we saw last year, man, none of my predictions came true last year. I was expecting to be at least 11-5. At least 11-5. But we fall flat on our faces. By week 16, we have Jarrett Stidham starting at quarterback. We already rumored pretty much, Renfro's been sitting out for over 7 weeks. Waller was out for 8 weeks. it was so disheartening last year to see Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs pretty much carry the team. And of course, Max Crosby, the only one on defense really doing anything, with Denzel Perryman being out as well. You know what I mean? I still think it was stupid to let him go this year, knowing how terrible we were at linebacker last year. And to me, like, even after watching the press conference with Josh McDaniels, we're not allowed to question anything as far as he's concerned.
Correct.
We're not allowed to question any damn thing.
Because everybody wants to keep their job. Nobody wants to be unemployed in this economy. No, look, there's no real reporters anywhere in this world anymore. Even at the White House, reporters, what are they supposed to do? Investigate thoroughly, ask hard questions, come to the answers that that they don't say publicly. That's what reporters or journalists or investigators are supposed to do. They don't do none of that anymore. Hey, Josh McDaniels, we love you. Hey, thanks for that Subway sandwich, Josh. Hey, what do you think about this? Oh, well, this is that. Okay, Josh, we love you, Josh. And the biggest Peace OS reporter, I love the guy. He's got a beautiful family. He's older in age, but he is the proven stooge of all the reporters for the Raiders. It's Hondo Carpenter. Again, I'm just saying, he backs up every McDaniels decision. Oh, the reason Carr was gone, he'll show stats of Carr. And then, do you guys remember after Carr was benched, about a month later, all these reports came out, and it started with Hondo. He wrote an article that Carr was defiant. Carr was not going along with the team. Carr was a bad apple. Carr was insecure. Carr was sulking after games. He was sulking on the sidelines. I didn't see any of that. But again, yep. Hondo Carpenter brought out the narrative that the fans say against Derek Carr. Because he is insecure. He does sulk. He does throw interceptions, whatever the case is. And, he doesn't deal with it so great at the moment. But give him 10, 15 minutes, then he's better. But
yeah, he'll be fine.
That's the narrative with the fans. So Carpenter and Josh McDaniels wanted to take the heat off of him with the fans. So they bought into all those narratives that the fans had against Carr. And then Hondo Carpenter wrote that article and presented it to the public. So then the haters of Derek Carr are like, that's why. I totally agree. So then they all started believing that's why. Because he's a bad apple. And then the real fans are like, no, that's not Derek Carr. It might be Derek Carr for 10 minutes, but he's not an entirely bad apple. But they created that narrative. And again, a lot of fans bought it.
Is that Derek Carr himself, as of last year, in Mayock said it in that podcast that he was on, could have got 2 first-round picks for Derek Carr. And because of this new coaching regime, and just like one of the comments that says right here by Cool Kev, there was no guaranteed money left to give Carr. You know what I mean? But they re-signed him to a new deal, a new lucrative deal with all those incentives in it that he was going to get, if we made the playoffs, he was going to get, extra money and whatnot. Ultimately to being benched by week 16, and then we didn't even get a bag of chips and a Coke for this guy. We let him walk, and we could have had 2 first-round picks just a season ago when we were a playoff team. And that, to me, ultimately tells me that this coaching staff doesn't deserve as much praise as I see so many people out there giving to them, because they have proven nothing. They've proven nothing except for they were basically Tom Brady's lapdogs when they were over there coaching for the Patriots. What have the Patriots done since Tom Brady? Not a goddamn thing. So, I mean, to ride this dude's coattails and to love Josh McDaniels as much as everybody does, and they say, oh, don't question the process, you might as well just hop on the fucking bandwagon. Look, I would love to hop onto the bandwagon, but I can't stand being lied to, and I can't stand being disappointed when everything doesn't end up with what the hell everybody was telling me was supposed to happen. So I'm sorry if I'm skeptical, but I'm sorry. But it's just the way Josh McDaniels is. It's the same thing I saw when he was coaching for the Denver Broncos. And everybody's like, well, they went to the playoffs. Look, Josh McDaniels didn't take the Broncos to the playoffs. That defense did, and Tim Tebow did. All right, and that's the fucking sad fucking truth about the whole thing. Josh McDaniels got rid of who was it, Jay Cutler, for Kyle Orton, and Kyle Orton just completely took a shit. Had no choice but to start the newly acquired Tim Tebow that they drafted, and they were even reluctant in doing that because remember, Denver had a billboard outside of Denver going, look, if we're going to fucking stink, let's stink with Tebow, because they wouldn't put him in. You know what I mean? And ultimately, they go to the playoffs. You know, that guy played with a massive chip on his shoulder because, like I've always said, and it's something that Derek Carr has also, something that he also has, you can't teach heart. And when you challenge them, they rise to the occasion every single solitary time. And
so go on.
Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow's a man of God, correct?
Right. Man of God.
Derek Carr is a what?
Man of God. Absolutely.
All right.
What's the one similarity in between the two? That is definitely one similarity that they definitely both share.
All right. Now, Tim Tebow started winning with the Denver Broncos with Josh McDaniels as the coach, right?
Correct.
Is Tim Tebow a good quarterback? To the statisticians, no. But he did miraculous plays when they were needed. Somehow, by the grace of God, he did miraculous plays, and they won a few games. Why, as a head coach, to have a man of faith that leads the team, that somehow wins games, why do you get rid of him? They drafted him. Why do you get rid of him?
Yeah.
Why do you get rid of him? Oh, because he's not a good quarterback, Mikey. He's not going to win a Super Bowl under Josh McDaniels. You look, that may be the case, but God gives this guy playmaking abilities on certain situations, and he powers through it. Like, there's something about him. There's like a star quality or something about Tim Tebow. Why is he gone? You drafted him to do just that. He started to do that. Now he's gone for Kyle Orton.
I don't get it either, man.
Okay, so that's the same.
I really don't get it either.
Again, it makes no sense to get rid of a player that does make plays. Carr's not Tim Tebow. Carr's better than Tim Tebow as a efficient quarterback. Maybe he doesn't make all the star-studded plays as Tim Tebow did, but you get rid of Carr as well after you just signed him like they drafted Tim Tebow. Why? That means somebody is the catalyst for both of these decisions. It's not Tim Tebow, who was a star everywhere he played under every coach. And it's not Derek Carr that has an attitude problem. The one variable in all of those situations is Josh McDaniels, and he doesn't work well with men of God and players that have the team. They have the team. Derek Carr leads the team. Josh McDaniel has to be the man, has to be the leader of everybody. No quarterback, no man of God will talk down to me, not do what I tell them. I'll get rid of you. I have to have the power. That's what Josh McDaniels is. But he lies publicly to everybody. Oh, we love Devontae. They used Derek Carr to get Devontae. They used him.
Yep. And Devontae is essentially trapped at this moment.
Correct.
He's essentially trapped.
Correct.
And that's the thing.
He's lashing out now. Now Devontae is lashing out, but then Devontae's also being a damn hypocrite. Devontae invites a reporter to his house, tells him we're not on the same page. They're making decisions I don't agree with. I know I can be the best wide receiver with any quarterback. I'm the man, but we don't see eye to eye. They're making decisions, that I don't agree with or whatever. Right? Then now he has his press conference. Now he's like, you damn reporters. How dare you take my words out of context? Huh? You're smart enough. You invited a reporter to your house. You said those words. How are we taking it out of context? You're venting your frustration. You're venting your frustration. But now you took it back. Why? Because you're in the building and you want a paycheck. Or is he just trolling the Raiders? He's become a troll. Davante Adams has become a troll or a diva. Again, last year, the third or fourth week of the season, after we lost 2 or 3 games with stupid McDaniel decisions, he pushes a reporter. Davante doesn't do that stuff unless he's mad, and he's really mad. Why is he mad? Because we're losing. Is he mad because of Derek Carr? No. Is he mad because he didn't get the ball? No. He's mad at the coaching decisions at the end of the game and the defense. So he took it out on a reporter. And then now this year, he never does interviews. He's always the quiet guy, sticks to himself. Now he's become like Aaron Rodgers. Oh, does he want to play for the Raiders? Is he mad at Josh McDaniels?
Yeah, and the rumors are flying now because of just that very instant where he brought a reporter over, said what he had to say. They reported it, then he rebutted on it, and now everything is supposed to be okay. It's all smoke and mirrors. If they're gonna do a video, or if they're gonna post up some news from one side, then they're gonna have to post up the argument on the other side. And so here we go. Now we've got an argument. We've got talking points. We've got more people talking about the Raiders.
Adams, what's his name? Raiders07 had a good comment. I just wanted to say it. He wrote, Adams did run into Renfro, though. Yeah, when he got injured or whatever for that one game when Renfro got injured. But why were those 2 players in the same position? And during the entire season, Waller, Adams, Renfro were always right. They were running the same route, like probably 70% of the time.
Pretty much. I saw Waller and Adams running the same route like almost 20 to 30% of, any drive that they were having. And it was crazy. I'm sitting here looking at it like we look like the Keystone Cops out here.
And we're not correct. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just agreeing with you. But like every catch Davante had to make, not all of them, but 90% of them, he was double teamed. He had to catch it over his hand. He had to make them catch 2 feet inbounds on the sidelines, over the shoulder. It seemed like he had to make more miraculous plays, than should be him getting open in a better scheme. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he's the best wide receiver in the league, but he had to do it on every play, it seemed like, under that system.
Yeah, especially with Renfro down, Waller down. You're pretty much the only guy that they've got to throw to at this moment, unless they're going to hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs.
Correct.
And you're being double and triple teamed because they know they're going to you. And you're having, like, he made so many one-handed catches last year. Some of those catches that he made that should have been complete, that were ruled incomplete, they should have been complete. You guys know that. And then especially, like, just come on. We go and we pull all that money for a guy like Davante Adams just to go belly up like this. It's maddening because we do see a revolving door like a hamster on a wheel. And it's every year with this football team. But here we are. We keep the faith. We do shows about them. Hell, some of us even get sued and they still do shows about them. They get sued by these guys and they still do shows about them. Because that's our undying loyalty to this fan base, to Al's legacy, to this team.
It's just,
and
I hate to say this, because it could be put on Josh McDaniels more, but the Raiders are fucking liars. That's it. The Raiders have been lying to the fans, mistreating the fans, and the fan that had the sign at the game that said we deserve better was 1,000%. I don't know exactly who it was, but if that's who it was, how do you have a sign telling and voicing your frustration with the team you paid tickets for, and all you say is we deserve better, and you get kicked out? Does that not prove the fucking point of what the Raiders are? We deserve better. You're getting kicked out. You can't say that. You can't have a sign at the stadium. Yes, we can. Everybody else has signs. But because I'm going against the narrative, I'm getting kicked out.
Right.
That shows you what the Raiders are, man.
It was Vegas Ralph, man. I was actually going to do a show with him. He didn't make it to the show, but like right as soon as he got kicked out of that game, I posted up the videos that he sent me on Messenger because I went and did some investigative work, brother. As soon as I saw him, I was like, who is that guy? And I did some investigative work, went on Facebook, went into a couple of the groups, found him, you know what I mean? And talked to him and sat down with him. He had two signs. One that said, we deserve better. And then the other one that said, bench McDaniels. At the moment when he was removed, he was holding the bench McDaniels sign, if I remember right. And to me, it brings it all full circle. You know what I mean? We watched Mikey Rayder get sued by the team.
Like boycott. It's like, I mean,
you've been supporting the team forever, and then
we
this
gotta
dude,
boycott
Vegas
him,
Ralph, bro.
We gotta boycott him.
And that's the thing. It's like they've gotten too strong. We've got guys who got thrown out of the stadium who have been lifelong season ticket holders. When they were in LA, Oakland, didn't matter where they were. Vegas Ralph was a season ticket holder. He had pictures of when he was there for years, from when he was a young man to where he is now, a proud father. And, you know, and he's been dumping his money into this organization pretty much his whole life. And this is how they treated him.
Again, it's just like the government too. Like I hate to do a parallel with real life, but that's what it is. It's just, and Cool Kev had a nice statement, which I agree with. He said, teams lying is standard operating procedure. Look, I couldn't agree more, 1000%. But the truth.
Oh, did you freeze up? Oh, I think Mikey froze up on us.
Am I back?
Oh, there you are. You're back now.
I think we need to, in life, if you want to lead a good life and like have friends for life and be respected, you need to be transparent. Okay? We lie. Yes, we lie. But then a week later, you should feel bad about that lie. And then, you know, a week after that, you got to call that person up and, dude, I lied. I did this. It is completely wrong. And then you got to never lie to that person again. You learn from your mistakes. That's if you care about people. I'm tired of being lied to. And just another lie that I thought about is, again, during the offseason, Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels said that they're going to communicate with Davante Adams, you know, as far as the quarterback decisions. They're going to communicate. They're going to look for his input into possibly who the next quarterback will be. And Davante Adams even said it. He goes, "Yeah, you know, they're communicating with me." All right. So then all of a sudden, the day comes, Jimmy Garoppolo is being signed. And then just recently, with all the articles and the press conference Davante had, he even said it in the article and the press conference. He goes, "Yeah, I like Jimmy. I have no problem with Jimmy. I didn't even know he was coming to the Raiders." Think about that. They just said they were going to communicate with him on possible quarterback scenarios. And now he said, "I like Jimmy. I didn't even know that he was coming to the Raiders, but I like him." That means they didn't communicate with you. They didn't give you a heads up that they were thinking about signing Jimmy Garoppolo, and they didn't even care enough for your input because they thought, oh, he probably only wants Aaron Rodgers. That means the coaches don't even communicate with their team. But
when they actually said that they were, by the way,
publicly they say they are.
Exactly, because Davante was like, I don't care which way it goes as long as I get input on who the next quarterback's going to be, who comes in here. And remember, this was toward the end of the year last year. So they didn't even take our star wide receiver, who, by the way, that we went and pretty much had to spend a first and a second round pick to Green Bay to get him, to bring him in here. They didn't even think to go talk to him to see who they wanted to get. Go get Jimmy Garoppolo, who, by the way, is hurt. I mean, I'm sure I've mentioned this before. He's hurt. They don't even know if he's going to be there for preseason. But luckily, we did draft a quarterback, but how good is he going to be? Now, I understand Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick. I don't know if we've got a Tom Brady in this draft, but I can tell you this. I can only be optimistic until I can't be optimistic anymore. And we'll only be able to find out fucking halfway through the season. And what sucks is it doesn't bode well. I don't see it boding well because this looks, if it looks like shit and it smells like shit, it's not a rose.
When they show you who they are, believe them. Believe them. Just believe them. And quick question. If you were the head coach, Nathan, if you were the head coach and you wanted Jimmy Garoppolo and you brought him in to do a press conference to sign the contract, you wanted him. All right. First off, would you have not had your medical staff a couple weeks before he came in to do the signing? Would you not have your medical staff reach out to him and do a physical a week before the signing, 2 weeks before the signing, just because he had an injury in December? Would you have not have done that in February or the beginning of March when you knew you were going to sign Jimmy Garoppolo in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, absolutely. That would have been one of the first things done.
Correct. But it wasn't. Correct. Okay. That's an organizational mistake and a bad decision by McDaniels. Oh, well, we were busy. It's the Super Bowl. We're getting ready for the draft. We didn't have time. We known about his injury. It's all good. We're not going to worry about it. We know it's all good. We talked to him on the phone a month ago. He said it's all good. Or there's all possibility that Jimmy Garoppolo had another doctor vouch for him to the Raiders and say, hey, he's all good. He's rehabbing. He'll be fine. Everything looks good. He doesn't need surgery or whatever. Maybe they told that to the Raiders in February or early March. So the Raiders go about their business. All right, let's bring him into a signing, get the contract ready, blah, 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 $25 million a year, 2-3-year deal, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Jimmy Garoppolo's in the building. Let's post it on social media. Go, Jimmy, Jimmy Garoppolo. Then the medical staff says, hey, man, you got that physical from your doctor? Can we see the physical? Oh, no, you can call him, though. Hey, we need to give you one. Let's take some x-rays real quick with our machine. Okay. Jimmy Garoppolo takes it. Bam. The medical staff goes, dude, his foot is separating and it's still broken. That's what they saw. So now the team is like, we can't give him this contract with $25 million guaranteed or blah, 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 blah. We got to make an addendum, whatever they call it.
Yep.
But they postponed it for a day, right? Now they have the information from their doctors. He might not even be ready for training camp. He's going to need surgery. Why didn't he get surgery in December? Why didn't he get surgery in January? Why didn't he get surgery in February? Why didn't he get surgery in March? Why didn't he get surgery in April? Now we are in basically the end of May. And he just had surgery a week and a half ago. 2 weeks ago. All right. Leg injuries last a year. For the most part. I broke my foot in 14 places, my left foot. That's where Jimmy Garoppolo broke his foot. He has 4 fractures, according to the results from yesterday or today. He has 4 fractures still that he had surgery for. I am 10 years removed from this injury, and it swells up every day, and I still have a lot of problems. Is he going to be ready in a year before training camp to really play a solid game? No. He might be ready to run around the field or do something in the beginning of training camp, but he still has to get his feet underneath him, and he still hasn't been hit. Again, he might not play for a whole year. But here's the problem. I know I talk a lot. Forgive me. I apologize. But when I get passionate, I get crazy. Crazy, Michael Rayder, crazy. The coaching decisions, they found out about his injury, that he needed surgery in March, like the end of March when he did his signing. You still had the draft in 2 or 3 weeks. Now, with the knowledge that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to need surgery, the injury's worse than we thought, he might not be available till like the beginning of training camp, and he still might not possibly be 100% even till mid-season. You know, let's be honest, till mid-season, because you barely had the surgery. He's going to have surgery in May. Now you're going into the draft, and you don't use draft picks and draft a rookie quarterback at number 2, 3, 4, or 5. You don't go out and get that guy. You wait till the 4th round. Then let's take a flyer on the guy I believe in. My next Tim Tebow. But did you notice after they signed Garoppolo, a week later, Brian Hoyer got signed?
Yep.
Why did Brian Hoyer get signed? Because they found out the Jimmy G info. And they're like, oh my God, we blew it. We have to get a Patriot quarterback in our system.
Yeah, because we literally blew it.
Correct.
Handled the situation completely incorrect.
Not we, them.
No, them. And it makes us look bad. You know, because we're like everybody else in every other team's fans are looking at our fan base going, what the fuck? Because literally everybody else's fan base is saying the same thing that we've been saying. Josh McDaniels is not proven. And they don't understand the decisions that the front office is making. It doesn't make any sense with the moves that they are making. And everybody else is eating it up over here, drinking the corporate Kool-Aid. Oh, everything's going to be fine. And they hate everybody who says it's not going to be fine. I'm sorry, man.
Can you post that comment by Raiders 07? I think it's an interesting one.
Right here, I've seen.
Raiders 07 says, I've seen something with Jimmy Garoppolo's contract. If he does not play week 1, the team can walk away with no money to him. No, that's not really it from the videos that I've seen, but who cares? Again, with them releasing Derek Carr, signing Jimmy Garoppolo, everybody's like, oh, well, we saved $20 million. We saved this amount of money. We ain't got a quarterback.
Yeah, now we don't have a quarterback.
I'd rather have $40 million going to Derek Carr and have a for sure quarterback starting day 1 that we kind of believe in. Now we don't have a quarterback. Oh, but we saved $20 million, Mikey Rayder. And now we're going to save another 25 if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't play. I don't give a rat's ass. We don't have a quarterback. If we have 5 quarterbacks on the roster, we don't have 1.
Yeah, and that sucks. Because, we could have we saved $50 million, but now we have Brian Hoyer as a quarterback. Yep. All right, this guy is not going to do shit. And then Aiden O'Connell, you start a rookie quarterback, even when Derek Carr first came in on his rookie year, it was literally after about 4 games, right? There was still 4 games played in the season by the time he had to come in. And then he went, 2 and he was like 2-11 or something like that when he, in his rookie season. There's going to be growing pains.
No, Derek Carr started in his rookie season. He beat out the Seattle Seahawks and he threw 4 touchdowns in that 3rd preseason game.
Right, beating out Matt Flynn and Matt Schaub for the starting position, right?
Correct. Yeah, he had that huge game versus the Seattle Seahawks with 4 touchdowns to one of his wide receivers or 2 of them. And then they were like, let's look at this guy. And then he came out the 4th week and then they played him only the first quarter. And he had 2 touchdowns in that first quarter in the 4th game. And they're like, you're the starter, dude. You are the starter.
Right. And even he went 2-14 to start off his career as a starting quarterback in the NFL, but he got better. Expect that if we have to start a rookie quarterback this year, don't expect to don't expect to go to the playoffs. Which means basically we're going belly up, and we were a playoff team separated from 2 years ago, who, by the way, went to the playoffs without their head coach
and without Devontae Adams.
And without Devontae Adams, we added
without Henry Ruggs and whoever else, and without
I hate pounding the table about it, but dude, if Josh McDaniels was such a great coach, there was pieces here that he could have worked with, and we could have made the playoffs by adding more pieces in Devontae Adams. But what happened? He fell flat on his face. Here they are running man defense in a game where we're up by 4 points. They're running a man defense, and they're letting them do it, and we end up losing that game. Didn't have anything to do with Derek Carr, but everybody blamed the quarterback. I mean, it is what it is, man. But I'm not dealing with the smoke and mirrors anymore. Now we don't have a quarterback. We might have an extra $50 million regardless, but now we don't have a quarterback, and it fucking sucks. And, and this is what everybody wanted. So I hope you guys are ready. Grab your bag of popcorn, because it's going to be absolutely miserable.
Hey, Nathan.
Yes, sir.
If you went to an enemy's house and beat them, or not beat them, if you went to an enemy's house and basically you one-upped them or you proved something right, then you took a ride around their house 4 times just to prove, hey, I one-upped you. That's your enemy. Then your enemy comes to your house, stomps all over your house, ruins your weeds, and does the merry-go-round on your front lawn in front of your children. Are you going to hold a press conference the next day, and when you're asked about it and they say, hey, do you think that was disrespectful? Are you going to say, no?
Absolutely not. I would have taken. I did take direct disrespect from that play. Direct disrespect, absolutely.
But it was revenge by Kansas City for us doing the merry-go-round in their stadium when Gruden had the balls to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and then Gruden had the Raider spirit to say, I don't give a damn. Hey, bus driver, let's go. Let's let these MFers know we beat your ass. We're still here, and we are the mother Raiders. So then Kansas City came in to our stadium with our new head coach, and they whooped our ass. Then they do a merry-go-round play, primetime television in the middle of the field, and then they scored 4 times, 4 touchdowns on that same play. Remember, it kept getting a flag. Then they called it back, and they scored like 3 times.
Yep.
Then our head coach, after losing the game to our vaunted rival, the media asked him, hey, what did you think about that merry-go-round play? Was that disrespect from the Chiefs or Andy Reid? No, I didn't think nothing of it. You sure you're a Raider head coach, Josh McDaniels? You sure you got that spirit? At least Gruden had it. How dare you? I would have said, yeah, that's disrespectful. They got revenge for what we did. But guess what? We're going to see him next year. We're going to see him next year.
Yep. And to me, he's not a Raider.
Exactly.
He's not a Raider.
Done.
And he never will be. But, I mean, even we're getting to the point now to where it doesn't even feel like, the fans were Raiders. At least most of us. Some of us are. We all keep
what is a Raider? What is back in the days when we started our YouTube channels, we knew what it was. What is a Raider?
We knew what it was.
Commitment to excellence, ride or die, this or that, hatred, we're the villain, we're the enemy, we'll come after your throats. What is it nowadays? Huh? Patriots, they're bringing a winning culture, Mikey. Josh McDaniels, we had to get rid of Carr. He threw interceptions every once in a while. Oh, we had to. We had to, Mikey. What the hell? Y'all are a bunch of pansies. Y'all a bunch of bitches. And no respect to the women. But I mean, just like ridiculous. There's no Raider culture anymore. And again,
the generations are different. And I don't know whose fault that is.
Yeah,
maybe it was our fault because we should have fucking raised them better.
It's the education system. It's the education, the world. It's the culture in the world.
I mean, maybe it is our fault. Maybe we didn't educate these guys better than we should. But man, the content was out there. And we were all posting it up on what it was to be a Raider, the type of attitude that you needed to bring with you while sporting this shield. You know what I mean? Understand that everybody was against you. You don't use the if we can't beat them, join them mentality. That's not a Raider. It never was a Raider, and it never will be a Raider. And if you guys ever respected Al Davis and anything that he ever stood for and how he brought this team up and how he managed to even bring this team out, if you had any respect for that at all, you would embrace that at least. And don't let him get sold out by his Nimrod son, who's not a football guy. You know,
again, but that's Mark Davis's problem. The minute his father died, he should have went to football. He should have gotten your wife's book, The Football for Dummies.
Exactly.
Mark Davis should have got that book and started learning about football and learning the Raiders' legacy.
Right. It's not like that he didn't have the massive amount of opportunity to learn. Al Davis was his dad. It's the best person to learn from.
Again, and his dad was the villain and the enemy for so many years. And Mark Davis, he doesn't want to be that person. He didn't want to be that person. So
he would rather bend down and suck the corporate cock of the NFL just to where he can be a part of the good old big old boys club. But he doesn't understand that he'll never be a part of that club.
I got to respect the Oakland fanatics that were screaming at Mark Davis, that were protesting them leaving. And I got to be honest with you, the ones that said if they leave, they're never going to be a Raider fan again. Again, I don't like that sentiment, and I can't really get on board with it. But man, they might have been right, because the entire whatever the Raiders were, the minute they left Oakland to Vegas to become a part of the corporate system, it is no longer the Raiders. It's no longer what they believed in. So I can understand why a lot of them left. I get it. I'm not going to hold it against them. And a lot of people left with Carr because they've seen all the writing as well. So not only leaving Oakland, the legacy, this, now they're disrespecting men of God and people they believed in that were on the Raiders. So now they're just like, I'm done. And I understand it. But again,
we should have all taken the warning when Greg Papa left and didn't look back. Because I know I was raising my eyebrow to that too. And as much as I gave him shit for leaving,
that's because he called out Mark Davis a lot.
Yeah, Greg Papa, I can kind of understand why he did it, dude.
He was Al Davis, one of his best friends for all those years. Then Mark started making all these decisions, and Greg Papa voiced his frustrations to Mark Davis. And Mark Davis is like, I'm the owner. I'm the man. How dare you even talk back to me? So once your contract is up and we're moving, I ain't bringing you along. I ain't going to fund your family anymore. I don't care if you're the voice of the Raiders. You're not the voice of me. You think you have power over me. And so he hires Brent Musburger. Yep. And now we have to hear touchdown Niners or touchdown San Francisco. Like, are you kidding me? The voice of the Raiders is gone. And now we have to hear touchdown 49ers or whatever. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And it does. It sucks, man.
Everything's gone. Everything's gone.
Our legacy is basically, Al's legacy has basically been sold upriver. And, I said this a couple of years ago. You remember when you were doing a Mondays with Mikey and Murph? Remember, it was like one of the first ones you ever did. And it was like when you guys first started getting together and you had Murph on the show, and I posted in the comments, or no, I actually called in. It was a voicemail. I was like, I would love to sit down with Murph and he could tell me all about the history of the Raiders, but I would like to tell him about how I felt like that Mark Davis was selling his father's legacy upriver. And I never really got to sit down with him and actually talk with him about that. And I would love one day to be able to sit down and talk with Murph about that. But as bad as it hurts, I was fucking right. And that hurts me so bad to know that I was right about this, because nothing felt right when Mark took over. And literally, like he didn't seem like he liked any of the Oakland fan base or the LA fan base or what his father built.
Yeah. I don't
It
know.
was like he
There's
despised it.
no answer. I'm just tired. Again, it's one thing to leave or lose the legacy, but then it's another thing to publicly denounce the legacy, denounce your fans, and then continuously make horrific decisions that almost 70% of the fans will be like, don't do that. It's not the right decision for the Raiders, but yet they continuously do it. Then the fans, they try to be positive. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. Then it all goes downhill. It's the same pattern, regardless if Gruden's the coach, this is the coach, that is the coach. So where is the problem? Are we what's the old thing? Are we snake bitten? Is there a curse for the Raiders? I'm going to say there is. Because the rumor was we're not going to win a game until Al Davis dies. That's what a lot of the fans were saying because Al Davis was making horrific decisions in his older age, controversy after controversy, and we were losing a lot. So they were saying, hey, the Raiders are awesome, but you're not going to win till Al Davis dies. So then he passes away. Now we're going to start the winning. No, we're not going to win till Al Davis loses the team or he dies.
Or till Mark Davis, yeah. Till Mark Davis loses.
Sorry, Mark Davis, sure, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not going to win. Now the theory is we're not going to win till Mark Davis dies or he sells the team. Then on top of that, are we ever going to win if the NFL buys the team? Yeah, we might have one good. We're like the Clippers in the 90s. You guys remember the Clippers for they would spend money on players and they would never go to the playoffs. But they were still making billions of dollars. The Clippers, for many years, they were always the second team in LA. They were the second team in LA. Then the owner got caught up on some racism or controversy, and then he sold the team. Then all of a sudden, they're in the playoffs. Then the Clippers were the better team than the Lakers for those years. That's because the NBA took the team over, and they propped in their new owner. It's like America does with countries. We take over a country, we go to war, and then we say they're going to have fair elections. They're going to elect their president, their king, their this. But guess who these people that become king are? They're
people that we select
from the American culture that we select to become their king. And then we can make money off of the land and oil and this and that, and we have a partnership.
Right.
That's what the NFL is doing for now. Now the NFL has a game plan to get rid of owners. Again, they didn't know how to get rid of owners for many years. Now the NFL is too big to fail. Who's the first owner they forced out? The Carolina guy. Remember, he had controversy with a girl or racism or whatever it was, and the NFL got rid of him, placed in another owner. Then Washington controversy. Let's get rid of him. Then now the Raiders are starting to sell a little by little, but it all started with controversy with Gruden and this and that. The NFL is going in and they're slowly taking over and putting in their people. Tom Brady is one of their people. Tom Brady is one of their people.
You know, you make a damn good, valid point, bro. You really do, because that's what I was sitting there thinking when we were having the conversation earlier. I think they want Tom Brady as an owner, because why not? They've already basically hand-gifted him everything that he's ever earned in the NFL. Because everything that ever followed him around, Tuck Rule, Deflategate, Spygate, all these asterisks next to his Super Bowl wins and his supposed successful career was all aided by the NFL all on its own anyway. You know, but hey, now he's a partial owner of the Raiders, and maybe once they oust
not officially. They still got to vote on it, but yeah.
Until they approve it, which of course that's going to be approved. You know what I mean? But as soon as they oust old Mark and Al's legacy straight out of the league, why not just have Tom Brady come on in, maybe. You see what I mean? Which is a direct smack in the face to all of us who have been here 40, 50, 60, 70 years. You know what I mean? And that's what I think that's just a massive disrespect. You know, but Mikey, I appreciate you coming on here, man. We definitely should be doing a lot more of this. I know that you don't get on very often anymore, but you're starting to push out a lot more content on the channel now. I mean, as of, recent months, you've become a lot more active. You've done comeback. And, if a lot of the people here if you guys don't know how to get a hold of Mikey, I've had the banner going down below to subscribe to his channel down here. He is on YouTube. How many subscribers do you have? You got like what, 2.8 now or 2.4?
Not enough.
I mean,
but I got a dedicated few, so that's all I care about.
Well, I know that you didn't have to come on here and talk with me, man, and I'm just extremely appreciative that you would even think to even come on here and hang out with your old boy Critique, man.
Let's be honest. Just tell the world, man. You've been supporting me. You've been helping me out every once in a while financially, and I owe you to be on your shows, bro, more than you owe me. So let's just be honest. Let's be transparent. Let's not be like the Raiders. Let's not lie to the public.
But see, you don't owe me shit. You
gave me
the one thing that I wanted, bro, which was an actual friendship of somebody who was completely genuine. But somebody who I know had a pure heart, you know what I mean, who loved the same team that I loved. And when I sit here and get to sit down and talk with you, you echo a lot of the same things that I talk about because it's how we feel. I mean, you feel a lot of the same ways that I do about this.
But I feel bad. I feel like, I guess I'm speaking from my perspective. I feel bad because overall, I don't go live much, and I literally don't go on even my own podcast or make shows lately, all right, due to whatever I deal with. But it might look like, maybe to you, but not publicly. But again, you supported me recently and you helped me out and you donated a bunch. And now I'm finally going on your show. So in some sense of the world, it might look like that I'm only going on your show because I was donated to. And it might look that way. But there's a lot of other variables on why I don't even go on my own shows. But yes, the money that you donated makes me go, this guy supports me every year. Michael, go on his fucking show. He deserves it. So the truth be told, I need to do this without any money or donations in the future because you deserve it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say.
Man, I'll tell you this. I'll do whatever I can. I'll do whatever I can for my true friends, man. And you know what? I've always considered you a true friend, even though we really have never sat back behind the scenes and mingled. It's just,
I don't do that with anybody, bro. Like, I'm fucked up, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. I am fucked up right now, and I have been for many years. I don't communicate. I don't like talking to people. Doesn't mean I don't like you. I cannot build my body to want to talk to people. First off, I talk too much, and I've been told for many years that I'm always taking the spotlight away from people, that I talk too much, or my opinion always has to be right, and that stays with me. So when I am lonely and am feeling healthy or good, I don't want to call people. Because all I'm going to talk about is my problems. Then on top of that, I'm awake at night, and I sleep almost all day. I can't call people at 11 o'clock at night because I live the vampire lifestyle. And it's a depressive lifestyle, but I don't want to bother people. I don't want to bother people. And then lately I've been...
we could have talked every day back in my band days because that's exactly everything I was doing was up all night, slept all day. You know what I mean? You see how many, you hear about how many kids I have, so you know what the hell I was doing. You know what I mean? So
you should call it the Rayder Brady bunch, man. You live with the Rayder Brady bunch.
Playing music and creating baseball teams, baby. Kind of pretty much how it's working.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they're good people. They always, hey, will you be on my podcast? Can you come on my show? I've always wanted you to as a guest. And then again, like I said, I'm barely making my own videos. Now I have to tell them I need money. I'm gonna try to live up to any value I have. If you want me to be on your podcast, can you give me a guest fee? Can you work that through? Oh, but I've been a fan. I've supported you for years. I appreciate that, and I understand that. But if money motivates people sometimes, and I'm just being honest, money motivates people. But I hate that I have to do that, or I have to ask. Not really for your show or Raider shows, but like with my other career podcast, I I get offers all the time, and I
Right.
have to tell them, hey man, I'm hurting. Can you give me $100 for an hour? Or whatever. Oh yeah, yeah, you're this and that. How dare you charge? You're not a real person. I'm not a fan anymore. Like it's weird, dude. All the thoughts that go into my head, and that's why, like I said, I deserve you a. I deserve to give you a million podcasts because not only this time, but years earlier, you sent me $100 here, $50 there, 75 here to help me out and donate. And then I never was on a podcast or whatever back then. But now I'm finally doing it. So I don't want you to think that you always have to give me a donation or whatever for me to be your friend or to be on a podcast. Because I sent and this, I
Yeah,
know we're
here,
doing it publicly.
now this is real shit right here. My girl is a huge Salute Your Shorts fan.
Yeah,
Like she
she
knows
thought
way
the
more about fucking Salute Your Shorts than I ever will.
she thought
you know?
yeah, so like because I was thinking about it, how you supported me and then we were gonna do podcasts together or whatever. And I was like, let me send his wife a gift. So I sent her a gift, like a gift package or whatever. But her first answer was, "Is this because Nathan paid for it?" Could you imagine how that hurt my soul?
It wasn't though. I
No,
mean,
I
to be
know
honest, yeah.
that was out of my heart after you paid or donated. That was after, but it looked that way publicly. So that's why she made the statement. But it hurt me, and it made me go, "It's true." Like that's how it looks. That's how I look to Nathan. That I'll only do things for money. And I was like, man, I want to get rid of that image. But I've been struggling, dude. I've been struggling to do podcasts. I can't even, I don't even contact Murph. And I don't even set up my everything because I honestly hate doing podcast or whatever going live because they only get nowadays 500 to 800 views at most. Then with YouTube, I can only make $2 from that. And then it takes me 3 or 4 hours to even do a stupid podcast. And then my computer sometimes is broken and I don't have all the energy. So when I do a podcast or whatever, or I get ready, it's like 5, 6 hours altogether, to think about it, to do it. Then I don't make any money. Or I'm just trying to. Some people they can't afford to donate or give me a super chat, and that's one of the only reasons I do kind of go live is for a couple dollars from 20 different individuals to make up for going live, and then I don't get it. Not because Raider Nation is bad or whatever. It's just we're all poor.
Right. And I mean, you
So
look at what inflation has done now, it's made it to where hardly any of us can even barely survive nowadays. I mean, you see what the hell we're spending at the grocery store. You see what we're spending at the gas pumps. You see that they've done raised our rent 3 fucking times in the last year or something like that. And it's made it to where it had to become this way because it literally does say in the book of Revelations that sooner or later our God will be money. And that's pretty much in the stage that we're in right now, man. But that's a whole nother conversation. And
yeah,
it
it's just
sucks that
real shit, man.
it sucks that you even feel that way because, it sucks that we even all have to feel this way because this is the blaring truth. That what you sent to my wife with the memorabilia you sent, you literally made her week. She was so happy for over that week and she
I
couldn't
know
stop talking about
she's a beautiful human.
talk about exactly everything that you sent her, man. And that right there, like to me,
But I felt
that
bad again.
showed
I felt bad because my image if you look at
Bro.
it from the outset, it's like I haven't been on your podcast. Then all of a sudden I got money. Now I'm on your podcast. Now I'm giving gifts. You get it? The image of that can be looked upon as a sort of bad image. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Like,
let me
like
go
I'm
ahead and
not
reassure
supporting you.
everybody right now. The reason why he did it is because my wife is fine. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you that, you know.
We should get into that conversation later. But I also, and I'll just say, like, not only with your wife, but we talk like sometimes on Facebook here and there, you know, like in little comments or text. But I feel bad because I know that's somebody's wife, and I'm not saying there's any flirting or anything going around, but I only talk to women. I'm not saying only with her, but like in my real life, I only talk to women because I'm looking for one. You get it? So
Right?
like, so when I do talk to you, you know, your wife and everything, I feel guilty, not because I'm going after her, but because I'm literally just texting her or talking to her in some sense. And I feel bad. And I'm like, man, is this right? So like,
I don't. It meant just to have a friend like you, man. There's no problems there whatsoever. I hope she can find you one of her friends. Maybe we can set you up with her. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping for, anyway. But hey, I don't
are you
want to
the
take up.
jealous type? Are you the jealous
No,
type?
hell no, dude. Dude, I played in
Yeah.
a band for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to have a certain type of mentality for that.
I
You know what
grew
I
up
mean?
the jealous type. I grew up the jealous type and lost a lot of girls, you know, because of my insecurity or whatever. But
Right.
I don't know if it's still in me as much as it used to. But I have the feeling if I did fall for a girl, I'd probably be one of those guys that be like, "Why are you talking to my girl on Instagram?" You know, like that stupid bullshit.
Yeah, I don't have no problems about anything like that, man. I don't trip about that whatsoever. So you ain't got to worry about that. I'm pretty comfortable in my own shoes. You know what I mean? But
I mean, you got 7 kids. You ain't going
yeah,
nowhere.
yeah, pretty much neither one of us can't. We can't afford to go anywhere. You know, I mean, we're stuck.
If if your partner, hey, if your partner wants to choose somebody else, go ahead.
Go
I'm gonna
ahead,
choose
you're
somebody
taking
else
all
too,
the
but
rest of these little motherfuckers with you too. You know, I didn't take
it's
these
all
kids.
good.
You feed them for a month or two. Shit.
Oh my God, I can imagine your food bill. Oh my goodness.
It's outrageous. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It's outrageous. It really is. It's pretty damn
I'm
terrible.
just alone, and I spend every month. People say, "Oh, it's because you're fat," but whatever. I spend like 300, 350, like basically on, and I only really technically eat like 1 meal a day. I have a lot of little snacks here and there, but 350, dude,
And
like
see, and
for a month,
back before inflation, it was like 150, right?
like
Maybe
200 at least,
125,
225, yeah, 250.
225. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you sit there and look at that. That's how much it's gone up. And that's the crazy part about it. When you walk into the store and you used to be able to get a carton of milk or a carton of eggs for 68 cents, and you can't find them under $3, $4, $5 now, you know, for a carton of eggs. And
Every,
that's
every product is going to have its day. Again, that's the new norm. So, like in the beginning, there, okay, again, what was it? The medical treatments, the vaccines, the stay at home, whatever, right? Then they started, beef was in short supply. The cows are dying. Bro got no pull-out game. What does that mean?
he's making a
Oh,
comment about how I got all so many damn kids.
oh, I thought it was because you needed to end the show, and I'm not ending the show. Like you're not pulling out of the
No,
show.
he's talking about me pulling out about having all them damn kids. I just had to highlight it right quick.
Eggs went up, and then every 2 or 3 months, there's going to be a new product for the next 5 years. A new product that doubled in value or doubled in cost. So every company is going to be able to milk that money that makes eggs or that makes milk or whatever product that's going up in value. It's constantly happening right now. It was baby formula. Remember, they created a baby formula shortage on purpose. Then the value went up. People were selling it on the black market, blah, 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 blah. Then it was eggs. Then it was bacon. Then it's beef. I don't know what it is this month, but there's something out there now it's medicine, pharmaceutical medicines. You can't even get your pharmaceutical medicine. But yet there's a billion vaccines out there. So how does it make sense I can't get my diabetes medicine or my cancer medicine, but I can get every vaccine known to man? I can get the shingles vaccine. I can get this vaccine. It's all a game. It's a corporate shell game with money and value.
Right.
All
Murph
right.
said it best, man.
Conspiracies.
Yeah, and Murph said it best, bro. If you always want to find, the answer to the reason, to the story of what it's, why everything's going the way it's going, all you have to do is follow the money. And 100% of the time, you're going to find the answers you're looking for. You might not like them, which, I understand we're all emotional creatures and we might not like the answers that we find, but if you want to find the answers, you got to follow the money, man.
I love Murph, but remember we were doing shows and we were saying that Mark Davis is broke and the Raiders are broke and all that other stuff, even after they moved to Las Vegas. And then Murph was like, no, they're not. They got plenty of money. Look at them now.
Yeah.
Mark Davis can't even pay the estate tax. He has to sell part of the team to Tom Brady. So Murph was wrong. The Raiders are broke.
Yeah. And I mean, but the Raiders also, to everybody else's defense, the Raiders did try to put up this facade that they did have money, but we all knew better. We all knew better. We knew Mark Davis did not have the money, man. So honestly, Mikey, bro, I hope you keep going. You are a huge inspiration for Raider YouTubers like myself and everybody else who has been out here after us, the way you guys have been pushing your game and whatnot. We wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for you, Mikey. And
yes,
I do want to.
Yes, you would, but thank you. Thank you.
Bro, we would have never known exactly how to expect more from ourselves.
Don't make me the Tom Brady. Don't make me the Tom Brady of the NFL. I don't want to be that guy. Everybody loves me, respects me. I'm a winning, whatever. What the fuck?
Well, I know I do. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I appreciate you.
If there's anything you need, please, man, you've got my number. Please do not hesitate.
I need $30,000. You got
Well,
me?
you know what? We need to get people to start donating to Mikey Rayder. So why don't you guys go on over to fucking Raider Central and check out some real good Raider Raider content from a YouTube creator who literally deserves our views. You know what I mean? And just
again, it's not them. It's the algorithm. It's the algorithm as well.
And just do what you can, man, because a view doesn't cost anybody anything. It costs you a little bit of time. Cost you, a little bit of time to come and sit in your seat and to unwind. But it's never going to cost you anything to come in and give somebody a view.
As we talked about in the beginning of this or before the show, again, they want a positive Mikey Rayder. They want the making skits Mikey Rayder that they remember. And I just can't give it to the world right now. And nobody wants to watch a negative person every day of their life. And unfortunately, I've been bringing more of the negativity than the positives, but that's who I am. I've turned into a sour old man. And I mean, that's just who I am. So, but you would think if you got like 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers, you'd at least get 1,000 views on every video. But I tend to make a video and I come up with a great clickbait title and I talk about it and I think it's going to be really good. And then 300 views. I'm like, huh? I don't get it. Yeah. But then I make a video and I call it exposed or something like that. And then it gets 2,000 views. Well, what is YouTube telling me? If I make titles that say exposed or whatever, it'll get views.
Maybe it's because they want us to lie to everybody like they do, instead of doing what we do, which is literally tell them the truth. At least
it's the algorithm.
Enough of the truth. At least enough of the truth for at least somewhat for anybody to kind of make sense of the whole ordeal. But they would rather see like, oh, Tom Brady's going to wind up being the quarterback of the Raiders because Jimmy Garoppolo's hurt.
I'm going to make a video like that soon. I'm going to say Tom Brady is actually going to be a Raider. I'm going to make a video like that. I'm going to talk. You know what? I might go live after we end here. just to continue, are you going live? I don't want to disrespect you if you
No,
go live.
actually, I'm getting ready to cut on out of here, man. As a matter of fact, I'll probably be over in your chat once you go live. So
Okay.
if you go live, man, yeah, just I'll be there. You already
Yeah,
know it.
if you want to be on the video, and then we could promote this video. If you want to actually be in video, just let me know. But I don't know. I'm gonna go online. I haven't went live for a while. I think I'm gonna go on, talk a little bit more bullshit.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Jump right in there, dude, and I'll jump in there with you too. But like I said, everybody right here, man, if this is your first time here, don't let it be your last. Like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications for more Raider Nation YouTube content right here on the Raider Critique, where we always tell you, man, we tell the truth with intensity, and we don't drink the corporate Kool-Aid. Come on, man, that shit's poison, man. Stop drinking the corporate Kool-Aid. Mikey, man, where can everybody else find you, man? You have any other social media you want to get out there, like your Twitter or anything?
Don't care.
Well, I'm pretty sure
just search Mikey Rayder or Michael Ray Bauer, or you have stuff in your description. We're good.
Yep. All right, man. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here, Mikey. Thanks again, bro. For real.
Everybody that tuned in, Afakashi, Cool Kev, Dizzy, your wife, Bugsy, Big Worm, James, Wild Turkey. I love you all. We the people. Thank you guys for supporting. And if you're on my channel, I might go live in about 20 minutes.
Hey, you already know that's where your boy's gonna be. Why don't you go over there and help us all out, man? Come give me somebody to talk to in the chat.
Yeah, nobody donated to you. Do you got Super Chat open?
No, I don't do any donations or anything like that, man. I don't have enough subs for that. But
that's right. You need, like, according to stupid ass YouTube, you need like 1,000 or 2,000 or something, huh?
You know what else is fucked up, man? And I'll end it on this note. Not only do I need 1,000 to even like try to get monetized or even like remotely be able to promote any type of, maybe donations that might want to come into the channel, I can't even go live from my phone on the tailgates anymore. And those were my favorite videos to do because I used to get to hang around family, go and enjoy the food, show everybody the atmosphere of what a Raider Nation tailgate really feels and looks like.
How come you can't go live?
Because I don't have 1,000.
What do you mean?
Because I don't have 1,000 subs. If you can get 1,000 subs after that, then they'll let you go live through YouTube from your phone.
But you're live right now, so you can go live.
Well, this is my computer. The only way that I figured out that you can go through StreamYard. Exactly.
You can use StreamYard on your phone.
So it'll force it to go live.
Yeah, so use it on your phone or your iPad. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was absolutely crazy because I used to be able to go to YouTube, from my phone, and it would have a button there that says go live. You know what I mean? I did it from the vehicle on the way to Houston going to the tailgate. You know what I mean? So I'm
going to be honest with you. I think you probably haven't looked, but I think anybody can go live now. I can't be. I think anybody, because it wouldn't allow StreamYard to use the platform to go live if you were not allowed to go live. Do you understand? Like,
right?
It wouldn't be on your account.
Why did they?
You got to check it again. There's something there. I'm sure you can go live, bro. You just got to look into your account, man.
I'm about to say you probably got to dig pretty damn deep to find it now, which that really doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Just look into it. But long story short, if it's not on the YouTube app, you've proven you can go live on StreamYard. So download or just go to the website on StreamYard, log into your account, and go live from your phone. You can do it.
Yep, that's how I'm gonna do it too. Especially if I'm, going to these games. I would like to see a few more of these games this year. I don't know if I'm gonna go to one this year. I don't know exactly how that. I don't know how good we're going to do, to be honest. And we ain't got any games close to me down here in Texas. I think the closest one is Denver. You know what I mean? So, and I ain't going to a Denver game.
Well, we're playing. Are we playing Dallas this year? Probably not.
Preseason.
There you go. Maybe you can watch that game.
Yeah, maybe we can watch that game. But anyway,
I ain't giving the Raiders no more fucking money. None. You see all this stuff from my former house? It's almost all of it's in cupboards and closed up. I ain't buying nothing for the Raiders until they give me a winning team and they stop lying. How about
Yeah.
that?
Hey, and I don't blame you there either, because I'm not going to give the NFL any of my money. If I'm buying anything Raider memorabilia, I'm buying it from my Raiders brothers and sisters who make this stuff.
Or
know
you
what I
buy
mean?
it from the other teams that say Oakland or Los Angeles or whatever.
Right. Yeah, you buy it from the people who deserve to have it bought from them, not the NFL, because the NFL just sits there and makes money off of us year in and year out, and they still lie to us and don't give us what we want. And really, ultimately, what do we want, Raider Nation? Just want a championship, but we also want to do it with integrity, not the, hey, if we can't beat them, join them mentality. I don't know how anybody could be okay with that. So anyway, we're going to get on out of here, man. Thank you guys for all showing up. And like I said, it's Raider Nation for life.